Hello, everyone. This is JD Calderon, and this is Indie Comics Explained. And again, I bring on a couple of great guests. But before we get to them, please hit like, hit subscribe. Check out my Indiegogo for the Oswald which is on Indemand at the moment, and go check out the campaign for our two guests. It's called Issues Volume 1. It's on Indiegogo currently. Looks like an awesome project. So without further ado, let's bring them on. It's a team, and we got Snoots Von Snips and Mike Marshall.
Yeah.
And today, and what's awesome, we got the split screen going on, so everybody got their own section.
I know we're not yanking on each other or anything.
Yeah. So nobody's gonna push to the side.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So guys, how have you guys been since the last time I spoke to you?
Doing good. Stressing out, work, trying not to become a full-blown alcoholic. Failing miserably at that.
I got people you can talk to.
Yeah, no. It's cool.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I'm cool with it. No, we're we're good.
I know AAA members. They can help you out. Or excuse me, AA members.
I was just gonna say I have AAA.
Yeah, I know, right? It's a beautiful thing.
Be a member, man.
Yeah. No, it's AAA. It works. Great thing. So how's the Indiegogo going? What have you seen by starting the process of Indiegogo that's got you either questioning, sweating, or really enjoying it, or all three?
I personally have noticed that the economy right now with pandemic and everything is just perfect timing to launch a campaign right now. A lot of people that were really excited are just strapped for money right now, which we understand. So whatever support we get, we're extremely grateful for. But it's a lot slower than we initially thought because, again, just the economy right now. Secondly, it's hard getting it out there, like past the people we already know, and get beyond our little inner circle. So getting outside that threshold, I feel like, is the most difficult part.
Okay. Mike?
Yeah, I'm not like discouraged as much as far as it like going slow or whatever. I knew it totally would go slow. This is like part one. We have nothing really, we launched early. And I did that specifically, like how I talked about last time, is I have a lot of the perks for people being drawn in, and I'm kind of wanting to lean a lot on that. So there's a lot of the art that we can't thoroughly complete without having people there, like without having people in it. Or I don't want to like draw something and then like the mayor, actually, I just had someone back it to be the mayor, which was awesome. But the mayor shows up like super early too. So it's like, fuck, if we drew that, we have to totally turn around and throw it all out. But what she was saying, though, as far as like getting it out there, that's probably the biggest hurdle that we have is people don't really know us. And I despise the outside world, so I never leave anyway. So I'm not out there plugging it or anything like that. But it was really neat, though, like as a creator and having this be my dream for so long. I actually came out the other day to her and I was like, dude, we just sold something to like some shit to someone we don't know. Right? Did I say that? I was like, dude, we don't know this guy. Do you know this guy? Is he one of yours? No. Oh my God. It fucking got out. It's awesome. Yeah. So we're really excited about that. And with everyone, everyone's just kind of, everything sucks right now in 2020. So any little thing that we get, we're like, dude, that's awesome. I've been like trying to respond to people in messages, like every little comment that we get. I'm like, dude, thanks so much. This and this. Yeah, man, we'll hook you up. We got you, I'm really excited about it. Cause like, even those, we got 25 backers now, and those 25 guys are like my favorite people on the planet right now. I'm like, dude, I love you guys. Absolutely. Whatever you guys want. We have it down for the stretch goals to be like, we had 3 of them. 2 of them actually were what fans had already stated that they wanted to see, and everything else, I'm like, tell us what you want, man. I'll make that a stretch goal. Let's do it. It's all about you guys. I'm back in this like customer service mode. I am like fucking 20 years in customer service, and now I'm like, I'm loving it. I really dig it. So I'm more encouraged by it. Every little, every new little backer that we have, I'm like, fuck yeah, you're the man. It's cool.
All right, cool. Now, do you guys have a mailing list you work with?
A small one, but yes.
Okay, but you're working on it. You're building it.
Yes.
A mailing list?
Yeah.
For what? What do you mean?
The emails.
Yeah, the email. Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah.
We send out emails all the time.
Okay, cool.
Some like trick of the trade that I didn't know of. I'm like, there's things you could just blind call people. Hey.
Well,
just sending out flyers.
How are you?
Yeah.
Door to door.
One of the things they suggest is that you build a mailing list. So then that way you have direct contact with your fans.
Right.
Regardless, because Facebook one day could blow up and, that'll be the end of that. Same thing with Twitter. Same thing with YouTube. All that stuff could just go away. But if you have your mailing list, right, then we could just pray Google doesn't go out of business.
No
right?
shit, yeah.
Because the whole world will probably go under at that point.
Yeah, right.
But if, you got your mailing list, right, you can always just reach out to your fans directly. These people that you directly touch, outside of, your direct friends, you're going to have,
right.
the fans. It takes a while to build. It takes a while to find these people. Trust me, I know it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time. I've interviewed people and they have, 600-700 people on their list, maybe 1,000, and they've built that list over a couple of years. I mean, sometimes 5 or 6 years, sometimes longer. And the secret to that list is scrub it. So if you, especially on MailChimp, what happens is it'll show you how many people are actually opening your email and then how many of them are just ignoring it. I would always suggest that if after like 3 or 4 emails, if they're still ignoring your stuff, just scrub them right off your list.
MailChimp, you said?
Yeah, MailChimp. That's the one most people use. There are other companies. After 1,000 email, I think once you send out to 1,000, once you get up to 1,000 emails, it starts to charge you. But up to 1,000 is for free. So it's
So just when you start to hit 1,000, just scrub them.
No.
Just kidding.
Because the thing is, because what's funny is the guy I work with, that's what he used to do. He would get to 1,000, see who sucked out his list, and he would scrub them up to try to keep on 1,000 so he wouldn't have to pay.
So
but the thing is,
he's still a Jew. He didn't want to pay for anything.
That's why she wants to keep it under 1,000.
But the thing is, though, is he says it was more important for him to reach over, to get to 1,500, to get to 2,000, because that's way more revenue that you're going to accumulate than what you're putting out for, the list. I think it's like $30 a month at that point.
I didn't know there was something that'll actually tell you like who's opening your mail too, because that's like, I can spam the shit out of the 30 people we have now. I can spam the hell out of them, but it's like only 2 people. Hey, that freaking we had that incentive in the first place to sign up, and it was like we did this exclusive sketch for you and all this kind of stuff. We had it all planned out, and we had like a bunch of people, so like a lot of people signed up for that. But then like 3 people have backed for that so far. So then I was on the this other interview with John Malin, and I told him I was like, so since we still were wanting to do that, I extended it to his people as well. We should do it here. You think you want to do that here?
Yeah.
For anyone watching his stuff?
Yeah,
we can. We'll have to do it for like the next week?
Yeah, next week.
Okay, that's I don't know what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, for on Malin's thing, I was like, hey, you know what? As a matter of fact, actually, like just to for all the viewers and whatnot that you have now, I was like, hey, Malin, give me a like a catchphrase, like say something, right? And he's like, all right. Like I was fucking crazy. I'm like, dude, I'm doing this for you. Come on. And I was like, okay, so if anyone goes and backs our stuff within like the next, like say 24 hours of this streaming, and then comments with that catchphrase, we'll add that to your perk too, like just for you guys. And I realized, I was like, damn, it's like a weekday and everyone's at work and shit. They're gonna watch it like the next day or the day after that or whatever. And so now I look like an asshole. So we can do that here though, because I mean that was really fun, and she kind of set like this internal limit of how many of those exclusive sketches she actually wanted to do, and we didn't really hit that. So we'll just to have fun. So JD, give us a catchphrase. Give us something to say.
Well, I'm gonna be selfish. Oswald.
Okay, cool.
So, and say Oswald, and I insert a free perk for you.
So today is what, Sunday? All right, so Sunday the 2nd. So until Sunday the 9th, If anyone backs our stuff and then comments Oswald, we'll add an exclusive sketch, and that's a legit, like we have it to where you can frame it type of thing. It's a legit real sketch. Yeah.
Well, let's not torture Snoots. Let's make it the first 15 people.
Oh well, no, fuck Snoots.
No, because I'll put that in the show notes and I'll share it out to people.
Oh, do it, man! I'm serious. Actually, like, trust me, we're not near the limit that she wanted to do. She got all excited when I came up with it in the first place. She's like, "Yeah, dude." As a matter of fact, I wanted it to be a head sketch in the first place. I figured it would be easier. She's like, "Nope, full body character sketch. We'll do the full thing." Okay. And I'm like, "That's you. I don't give a shit. Like, that's you losing sleep. Let's do it, man." Like,
all right, cool. So yeah, like I said, I'll put that in the show notes and I'll share it out there. So that'll be awesome. So let's get on. So, all right. So obviously you're having your trials, so you know what you're going through. Now you've been on, how many other podcasts have you done up until this point?
Let's see. We had this one guy. What the hell was his name? JD. We had a guy named JD. We did that. And then we had Maitland, and then we have I'm actually in the middle of editing our first episode of our own podcast as well, because we're trying to actually like be real people. We're trying to be there with everyone else.
Yeah. We did a live stream once and we immediately turned around and deleted it.
Yeah, we're like, no,
all right, we're going to pre-record this shit.
Right, really?
Well, see, okay, so I thought that it was like really bad. Like I thought we did really bad on your show last time. I was like, dude, I feel really bad. So I messaged you and I was like, dude, I'm sorry for that. And you're like, no, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. And then we tried to do it on our own, and we are dogs without horses. We need to be led. We can't just be.
We need a gracious host like yourself.
So that was bad. So now I'm editing. We have an actual like real good podcast out there, but literally we've just done you and Malin so far. I'm actually wanting to do like what you're doing here. I thought it was a really cool idea of like having people who are also up and coming people just review them and just kind of do like a little bullshit show with them. So I want to start doing that too, actually.
But like it's gonna be less professional than yours.
Yeah, you handled it really well. I don't right now.
I don't claim to be professional on any level. I only have one piece of advice. One. Just hold a conversation. Just talk to people.
No.
That's it. I'm doing it with you guys. You guys are fine.
No,
you can do it. You know?
Matter of fact, actually, I was like starting to feel good. I was like, yeah, our campaign's doing good and whatnot. And I started watching a couple more of your streams. And I don't remember the name of the dude, but I was like, damn, this is a really good interview, right? And then you guys were both talking about like how long you've been doing it. And the one guy's like, oh, I don't know, like 28 years or some shit. And I was like,
yeah.
I was starting to feel good. And then it's like someone just uppercut to the fucking taint. It was I felt so bad.
It's different for everybody. You understand? There's some people that like I do it primarily for the love of what I'm doing. It's a hobby for me. There's some people who feel absolutely like they just abhor that. You understand? They just hate the fact that I say that it's a hobby. Because they feel that, if you're not in it to make money and you're not in it to do this, I'm in it to create art. You understand? I'm in it to tell a story. Yeah. You understand? It's nice that I can share it and make money. You understand? And I utilize the money I make to make more art. But for some, all they have is that brass ring, but the problem with that brass ring though is the goal only that brass ring? You understand? Or is it the art?
Right.
You understand? Do you just, would you rather make garbage content, right? And make a lot of money doing it? Or would you rather make great art and maybe not make as much, but make some? Yeah. Some people will tell you it's acceptable to make the garbage art and take the money.
That's actually,
there's some people that will tell you that.
Yeah. That is actually one of the things where I had when I was writing out this story in the first place, why I specifically was like, I want to have a beginning, middle, and end. I want to actually have a true story that we're trying to tell, and then we can do another story. We can do another story with something else or whatever. But when you get to that point, I don't want to do like the Dragon Ball Z thing where it gets to that point where it's like, now we told the story we set out to tell. but people are still buying it, man. So we bring him back. There's this whole other level of Saiyan he can be, all this other shit. I don't want to keep going because then it's
we
just
can come back
trash.
and like relaunch the story and tell it like 3 different ways, but it's the same goddamn story.
In doing it that way, though, like and truly falling in love with the true story and not corrupting that. In doing that and having that mindset, not only did we frame out a kick-ass story that we all love, that everyone loves, but we have like 3 other stories that are totally have nothing to do with this. 3 other stories that we're also totally in love with, that when we start talking about it, we go, man, I can't wait to start working on hardware. I can't wait to start working on that one, Yeah. So we're like, it keeps the love in there to where like, you're talking about like with the brass ring and whatnot, like, yeah, I would love to make money, but when that's specifically gesture drive, like, yeah, I understand it's a business, so you gotta look at that bottom line, but when that's specifically it, you either start cutting corners or you lose the love, and you got to keep that love in your product, man. When people read it, they got to go like, this guy thought about this. It may not be perfect, but his heart's in it, And if anyone reads my stuff and it doesn't look like my heart's in it, I don't need to be doing it, man. I should not be doing it. And I thoroughly believe that.
And we even got to the point where we're talking about like, if this campaign doesn't go where we need it to go, to where we can't, live off this campaign. At the end of the day, we need to pay for the books and food.
Right.
So if we can't pay for the food and we need to get a job, that's fine. But at least this was a learning experience to where we know where we stand as far as the, the assembly line is concerned, like production of it. So book 1, we want to get it out there and we want it to be successful, but if it ends up, like you're saying, being the hobby, we're okay with that, because at the end of the day, we want to get the story out there. We feel like we need to do it justice. Like, it's beyond us at this point. It's the story, it's the art, it's the love of it.
It's bigger than us now. It's the story and the fans. That's really what matters.
Right. Well, no, that's cool. So let me ask you, have you ever considered so currently you're doing Indiegogo, right?
Yep.
Now you're doing what, a 60-day or a 30-day campaign?
We're doing 60. It was going to be 30, but like I said, I wanted to start it early so I could get people in it.
Flexible.
So that's why I did 60. Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Do it flexible and do it in demand.
In demand.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Now, so you're doing that. Now, would you consider doing a Kickstarter afterwards?
Probably. My only issue with Kickstarter, well, they did just fire that broad too, though.
Did they?
Yeah. When they had decided to take their big stand against like Comicsgate and shit like that or whatever, because I understand like being in a business. Like I used to run a store. Like I understand being that top person and kind of like getting to the point where you don't realize where you're detached from the real world for a minute, and reading articles, feeding on the Kool-Aid, and trying to be like, hey, this is what's right. I understand where their mindset was. And it pissed a lot of people off. It pissed me off. I was never going to do Kickstarter. But now they turn around and they're like, this obviously did not work in our favor as far as being a business. So we're going to rethink this. If that's the way you go, where you're going to rethink it and be back about the people or whatever, I'm not going to hold shit against you. So if anyone's going to shit on me, like I have one friend who's probably listening or will at least, and he's going to message me, and it's fucking Jags. Jags. No, not him. Jay's gonna message me because he's like, no, never Kickstarter, because if you burn one bridge one time, he just red button, you're fucked, So he's gonna be like, no, we're never gonna do. I will detach myself from this project, and it's like, well, I don't know, man. We got to get it out there. It's not about the politics and shit. That's I don't want to be about politics.
If people make a policy and then admit they're wrong and apologize, then we all move on and go home. So
now here's my thing, because here's the thing. I know you guys are Comicsgate, right?
Yes.
That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not part of Comicsgate. You understand? But I'll talk, I've already said this before. I'll talk to anybody. You understand? Yeah. You understand? I'm into indie comics. That's it. Because I've had things said about me, I've had people come at me about the whole Comicsgate thing and whatever. And I said, listen, I am who I am. I'm a full-grown man, and if you can't take it, well, you can go hit the bricks. I'll talk. Listen, my mother can't tell me who to talk to.
Right.
You understand? I'll talk to anybody. You understand? And the thing is, though, is
We just had a conversation today about mothers, so yeah,
Right.
we got you.
So, here's the thing, though, is if I don't talk to people on both sides,
Mhm.
how am I going to understand what's going on?
Yes.
Right.
You understand? If I can't have an open dialogue, right? How can I not? I'm not going to understand you guys. I'm not going to understand them. You understand? We have to try to get to this point where we can talk again. Just talk.
Yeah.
You understand? If we disagree, we disagree.
Absolutely.
That's all there is to it.
On our this first episode of our podcast specifically, I actually explain, like, not speaking for anyone else, I explain my stance personally as to why I would consider myself Comicsgate.
Mm-hmm.
And I did it very passionately there, like I get, but the Reader's Digest version of it to me is when the phrase itself was coined in the very first place.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a group. It was not like some membership. It was a mindset of these people infiltrated comics. They started doing this, and this. We didn't like that shit. And when we spoke up, we got shit on. So we said, fine, we'll do it ourselves. That's the spirit of indie comics. It happened with Eclipse. It happened with Image. Every 20 years they end up doing that shit, and people just go, fine, we'll do it ourselves. As far as I'm concerned, it just expands the industry. So it's fine. But it's a way of thinking. It's supposed to be anyway, a way of thinking, a way of being, and it's supposed to be customer centric, and you're telling good stuff. And it's not, you have a superhero because they're gay. If you have a gay superhero, it's you happen to have a superhero who's awesome who happens to be gay. It's just that other way of doing it. And you're not just pushing out there just because we need a black person, we need a gay person. No, you need it to tell a good story, and it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter. Like with ours, we have fat people, colored people, pansexual. We have all these things, and it's just the shit that just happened, and it was a natural story. If that's how it is, I have no problem. If it's like you're telling a great story and it's about a dude who happens to like punching Nazis, fucking do it. If it's great, cool, I'll back it. I did back it before with one dude who's specifically anti-Comicsgate, and I really wanted to work because it was supposed to be a parody, and it turned out to be ass. That's not because he's anti-Comicsgate. It was just a bad story. Like that's where I am. But that's supposed to be the spirit of Comicsgate. And if you ask, like, say, Ethan or anything like that, and you have them go off about it, that's supposed to be it. However, with that said, I will 100% admit that there are people who, much like with a bunch of other groups, that go, they'll read or they'll drink the Kool-Aid, they'll read things and go, oh, Comicsgate's a hate group. Oh, what do they hate? They hate girls and blacks and trans and whatnot. Hey, so do I. I'm absolutely Comicsgate. And then now you have an asshole calling himself Comicsgate. And that's what ruins everything else, There's
always the one asshole.
There's always that
for everyone.
But what's weird is that people get so prideful with being like they're marching under a banner. Then when someone goes, hey, I got harassed by a Comicsgate guy, they go, no, fuck you. And it's like, no, you need to look at your people too. You need to have more, like, scrutinize your people more than anyone else outside of that banner, because they're going to make you look bad. So I am proudly, that's my way of thinking. But if an asshole pops up and goes, I'm Comicsgate because fuck Jews, then I'm like, no, you're not Comicsgate. You're just an asshole. That's where I stand with it. So what do you got? Sorry.
So we even went so far as to, like, at a certain point, Comicsgate went under a subgroup called War Campaign, and they just became assholes, and it was this whole thing. And there's so much drama involved with there's so much drama involved with Comicsgate specifically. Me and Mike had a conversation one day where we were like, fuck it. If the banner is ruined, burn the banner, start moving. So at the end of the day, we were thinking about what to name our podcast, and we're like, Black Flag, because we don't sail under any particular banner. We're here, and we're here to make comics. And
legit,
like you were saying, JD, we're just like, we're indie. We're indie. We want to support indie, and wherever you fall underneath that, just don't be an asshole.
Yeah, as long as you're not an asshole and you're making a good story, dude, you're, as far as I'm concerned, you're one of us, period.
Yeah. So for me, it's just like, if you're not an asshole and you happen to be Comicsgate, yeah, I'll be Comicsgate, because you don't have to sign up. It's a way of thinking. Sure, whatever.
Yeah, that's just what it's being called now.
Yeah. So as soon as Comicsgate becomes a bad thing, then we're just going to be indie again.
I mean, my thing as an indie creator is this, because a lot of the issues that happened with CG was that certain people didn't like the fact that certain stuff was going on at Marvel and going at Marvel specifically, right?
Okay.
Now, here's how I feel about Marvel. They've done wonderful things. If they hadn't been created, I probably wouldn't have gotten into comic books. So I do owe a certain amount of love to them. You understand? But if they fell into the sea tomorrow, I really don't give a shit. The same thing with DC. I don't care. You understand? They don't affect me. They don't affect my work. As a matter of that's not necessarily true. They do affect me because those dipshits over at Marvel, way back when in the 90s, purchased Heroes World and collapsed this industry and set it back probably 40 years. You understand? And that happened because the guys over at Marvel did that. Okay? DC also didn't help much by signing an exclusive with Diamond, crushing Capital, which was the other distributor that was around that was their big major competitor. Okay? So that didn't help much either. So as far as those two companies are concerned, they're 70% of the market. I don't want to see them go away. I would like to see something. I would like to see parity occur, where I would like to see them not so much shrink, but become 50% of the market, still selling the same numbers, but 50% of the market, and the remaining 50% just being independent comics.
Okay.
That's what I would like to see.
Yeah.
But the thing is like as far as what they produce and what they create, I don't really care. You understand? They can do whatever they want. Whatever. I don't care. I mean, if they want to turn all the characters into Smurfs, fuck it. Have at it. Thor Smurf, fine.
Everyone's Smurf now.
Fine. Whatever you want to do.
Thor becomes Smurfette.
He was
Thor's
Smurfette. Yes.
Thor's a Smurf in the first place, then he transitions to Smurfette.
Yes, there you go. That's fine.
Well, he was a frog, and they actually somewhat made that work sometimes.
Throg works. I like Throg. Yeah. I have a statue. It's awesome. But that's the thing, because the way I look at it is like this: as indie creators, right? I don't have any aspirations to go work at Marvel. Mm-hmm. I know CB Cebulski. That's the EIC. I worked with him.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah. Wow. He was my editor when I was over at Central Park Media. Have
I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Yes. He was my editor. So, we have remained friendly over the years. I've seen him at Boston Comic Con a few years ago before he became EIC. We would say, "What's up?" and talk. But I've never gone up to him and say, "Yo, man, get me a job."
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not interested. I don't want to. I have no interest in. Yeah, exactly. I could have done it. I've done him favors. I gotta be like, "Yo, bro, you owe me one. Actually, you owe me 2 or 3.
I told you, man. Do some favors. We'll get us some sales. Shit,
right,
dude? I tried that a few years ago with Rooster Teeth, and now I'm glad that didn't really.
I'll do favors to get us sales. But I'm too hairy, man. I don't. My shit don't sell. This is a specific market.
Again,
but that's what I'm saying. That's the issue with CG is that don't concern yourself with what Marvel and DC are doing. That war is lost. They're gonna do whatever they're gonna do. Just focus on what you're gonna do. Make your own comics, and as far as the other side is, let them make their comics. Let everybody make comics.
Yep.
They're gonna listen on all sides. Some people are gonna make good comics. Most people, and I think I've had this conversation with you guys. 95% of the people are gonna make garbage. That's Sturgeon's law. Okay, 95% of everything is crap, and it's our jobs to try to get into that 5%. You understand that's our jobs as creators. It's our jobs to try to make the best product we can make, for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm not. Like I said, that's why when the whole thing with CG came up, I was like, all right, whatever. And the whole thing with the other side coming up, I'm like, whatever. You understand? Let me just do what I want to do. And the thing is, we have to try to come back as a community of just indie. Not just of, it's CG and it's this and the other thing, whatever, man. It's just all indie comics. Doesn't matter.
Put labels behind you and just do what you do.
Exactly.
Profoundly agree.
For
real, mainly because the way the market works too is that once propaganda and buying out media and so on and so forth, that shit only lasts for so long, and at the end of the day, they'll get tired of it if they feel like they've been lied to or whatever. But at the end of this long run, everyone will always vote with their wallets. So you had like there's a lot of weird, questionable mistakes that DC has made, and they're absolutely paying for it. Marvel is absolutely starting to pay for it. Disney is hemorrhaging money. They're absolutely paying for it. But it kind of sucks because, like, to me, I'm like, Disney has the ability to make amazing shit, and they have blown my mind in the past. And I feel like as long as they kind of pull their head out of their ass and just go, okay, what's everyone saying, and start listening to everyone and start just pander to the fans, man. Actually, people that spend money, do that. Give us what we want. Give us our escapism from this fucking hellhole that is 2020. Give us the shit we want to see, and we'll fucking buy it, man. That's why we have money, so we can do shit like that. If we weren't going to do it, then we'll point to fucking money, man. You know? But that's actually like truly.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Not on my podcast.
Derail.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's my whole thing with like being, hey, are you Comicsgate or are you not, or whatever, is that like the spirit behind it, what it was supposed to be in the first place, like that's what it was labeled. Like I was already like, dude, that Comicsgate isn't 7 years old. I was thinking like this literally when we started this project in the first place in 2013.
I was in college.
Someone gave it a name, Comicsgate, and I go, okay, cool, yeah. Someone gave it a name. That's what's up. But that's like she said with our podcast, doing the whole the Black Flag thing or whatever, is that we're fucking indie. That's the thing, is I don't want to be part of the big corporation or whatever. We're doing our thing. We're setting it out there. I know not everyone's going to like it, but I hope it's a great thing. And if Comicsgate ends up getting ridiculous or whatever, then we're still sailing under our own banner, man. We're doing our thing.
Our podcast tagline is sailing
the salty seas of get fucked on.
Yeah.
Just everyone else can fuck themselves. We're doing this. Yeah.
The reason I had mentioned it, and the reason I mentioned Kickstarter, is like because the thing is you don't want to cut off your nose to spite your face.
Yeah.
Kickstarter is just a platform to make money. Same thing with IGG, Indiegogo is just another platform to make money. Politics aren't involved. You just want to make money. All I'm saying is this: is don't seal yourselves off because you feel some kind of weird ideology is holding you back.
Absolutely.
Right.
So whenever Kickstarter involved politics in it, we're like, we don't want that. But now that Kickstarter is like, okay, we're going to put politics aside, we're going to go forward unbiasedly, then we're like, oh, okay,
they straight up hired a gatekeeper, man, and they did, and I was like, well, you know what? Fine, because it's like I wasn't going to bring it in. I was going to bring in politics. You already have it going, But now that it's like, okay, that didn't work out for us. a bunch of people left our platform because. Yeah. See, like that's a big issue I have with like Facebook and like why I had to hire a guy to do Twitter is if you're just a platform for people to just get themselves out there, don't fucking make it about your personal shit. If you're just a platform of like getting out creators like, Kickstarter, Indiegogo and whatnot, don't put your shit in it. Just let people do their thing. And that way, if anything does go sour, you go, that's not even me, man. It's them. You have plausible deniability, But when they start going like,
with their wallets.
Yeah, everyone's a Nazi, so we're going to do just fuck, man. Now 60% of the friggin' world just to get fucked,
Right.
That's why I didn't do that. But.
All right, so let's move away. Let's talk about something important. Issues.
Yeah.
Right.
So comic, that's pretty important.
Exactly. Now, you were talking about you recently put up some finished pages on the site.
Yes.
Now, all right, cool. Now, how many pages did you guys put up?
We did 6 pages, 1 spread and 6 pages. And I chose those ones. We have a lot more coming as well. But in the first place, I was like, how do we kill the most birds with one stone? Because it is just 2 of us doing it, So I picked a thing that'll show like, hey, how is our art going to look? How polished can we make it? How's our lettering going to be? But also showing a sequence, like a scene, like from start to finish, showing that actual sequence. So I chose this scene. It's 6 pages long. And when we first launched, everyone was like, man, that sounds great. Everything sounds great, but you have no interior art. So everyone just jumped on me. And I'm like, dude, again, I didn't have a chance to explain that I'm launching early. I'm like, we're gonna do it. Just give me a fucking chance, man. I have 2 hands and I can only type so fast,
And I have one I draw with, so.
Yeah. So we, so we did that. We cranked that out. It's art that we had, and people are like, dude, get the black and whites out there. Get the black and whites out there. And I was like, well, I don't want to have people see the black and white. That art looks differently. If you're going to release it in black and white, it's polished and it's cleaned up and it looks good in black and white. But if you're going to color it, it's different. It's very lacking in the black and white form for the most part compared to what it's supposed to be in color. And I wanted the first, I didn't want to just blow my load in the black and white and have everyone go like, this is fucking garbage. And then release something polished and no one's going to look at it. So I wanted to actually do the colored portion. And we finally got that out there actually today because we just finished up the lettering today.
We released it in stages. We did a few days ago. I finally got around to completely doing the colored without captions, and then I finished the captions today. So we relaunched it with the captions. So,
and with my crazy OCD, we kept having to go back to it. I was like, man, should he be saying that or should he be thinking that? Literally, we changed that today. He should be thinking because why would he talk to himself? He's not a crazy person. He's just an asshole. So so we changed that.
Yeah. So who's lettering?
This guy.
Technically me.
Okay.
We're cheating. We're typing. We're cheating.
Okay.
We're typing. But I am still organizing the balloons, the lettering, and stuff like that. So
some of it. Others, she is doing hand. She is
like the sound effects I'm doing by hand and stuff.
Sound effects, screaming, things like that.
Yeah.
A lot of that by hand. There's some of the some of it she's doing by hand, but with the main just regular text. We paid for a font. That was
which is the gentleman who does it by hand. He's a hobbyist.
Yeah.
So we paid for that.
Yeah, we so he could do it for us.
Oh, so you hired.
I type it. And
No. We just paid for a font that he had created.
Yeah.
Like he did a font created, and we paid him for it.
Yeah.
And then we just put that. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Now, so Snooch, I got a small piece of advice.
Mm-hmm.
The gentleman to your left.
Yes.
Teach him how to letter. Teach him how to letter and let him letter it. Now, I'm not talking about the sound effects. I'm talking about the lettering. The reason I advise this, Mike, is because you're going to want to make a lot of changes. I know I letter my own books for a reason. So then that way you can go in and play with it. You understand? Because your OCD will kick in and you can go in there and you can mess with it as much as you need to till you feel it's correct.
All right. So
somebody else to say it?
You know what? Oh, shut up. Okay. You know what? First of all, for the record, I don't need anyone to tell me that I need to play with it more than I already do.
Okay, there you go.
Secondly, you're just gonna let this happen, huh? She has everybody fooled. Like, man, I do all this stuff and the art and all this good. I color the shit, man.
Yeah.
I'm writing it, I'm coloring it, I'm editing everything.
Oh.
And see, she's got everybody fooled. She's like, oh my god, I do all this stuff.
He edits.
I just stand on a stool with a fucking whip and I just sit there like, fucking draw, bitch. No. It's all kinds of shit that I do. No, actually, no. With the lettering, though, whenever we actually do the lettering, so we have this process where, like, setting up a page, right? I have this, like, mindset of, man, when this happens, like, because I'm the nerd. She's an artist, right? So I'm like, man, when this guy says this, we need to have this angle. So all, like, we have little figures and shit. I'll set them up, like, bam, like this. From this angle, I'll take little pictures and whatnot. She'll sketch it out. I'll edit that to be like, yeah, this is kind of how their body would be, like, because I know like anatomy. I'm super anal about it. We do that, and then she will do all the other stuff. Then we get back to it with the flatting. I'll flat it while she's essentially doing all the shading and stuff on it, right? Send it back to her, and then when we do the lettering, we sit down together and we go, here's how it should be, here's where it should be, so on and so forth. We literally letter and finalize every page together to where both of us are happy. So it's not one person steamrolling the other person or vice versa. Right? You're just gonna let me take a fall like this, huh?
No.
Did we not do all of this together?
Yeah.
Well, I pulled up the pages so everybody can see them. I think they look great. I think you did a really good job, Mike. I mean, because I didn't know you were coloring. You know,
Yeah,
and he does a fantastic job.
cool.
I legitimately, because to me, I actually told her, I go, like, to me, like, I understand it's supposed to be a language of the two of us speaking together through the page, but to me, like, thinking up a story and having dialogue and shit like that is so light and fast, super easy for me. But I know that you have to physically go through and draw it. So I always feel really bad where I'm like, bam, we do this, this, and this. She's like, slow down, draw me a picture, do something for me, thumbnail for me. Because I'm like 1,000 miles an hour with it, you know? So I feel really bad. So I'm like, what else can I do, man? Teach me how to flat. Teach me how to do this and this. Like, show me how to do that, you know? Because I am so not an artist whatsoever. So everything that I've done on this, she taught me, because I'm like, I need to take things off your plate. I feel so bad because to me, I'm just like, I'm the idea guy. Like, hey, do this, make it look great.
I'm like, that's going to take me 24 hours. And he's like, do it in 3.
Yeah. So to me, like, just little advice to writers and shit like that out there. If you are working with a singular artist, see what you can take off their plate. See what can be done. Because now sitting here watching her do just a single page it takes a lot longer than you think. Artists go through so much more than people think. You know, I couldn't imagine being in the industry where you just write out something, just some little bullshit. He does this and his dick's hanging out. And then you just send it to an artist and have them, what the fuck even is this, man?
Which makes me feel for, like, Rob Liefeld. He gets, like, a lot of flack for all the bullshit that he's put out over the years. But looking back, it's like a lot of that shit happened before Photoshop was really a thing. So it's like, hey, go and fix this broken back. And he's like, fuck you. I have 15 other pages.
You have any idea how long that would take me to fix?
He's like, that's what you get, motherfucker. I'm the only person doing these pages.
I got a small piece of advice for you guys.
Yes.
Because I'm looking at your lettering.
Mm-hmm.
The leading is probably a little too wide.
The pardon?
The leading. The space between, you see the page that I have up?
Right.
All right. So you see the words, you see the spacing in between the lines? Yeah. That spacing you can cut down.
Ooh,
okay. Thank you.
Because what it is, because trust me, what will happen is that word balloon can now be a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you actually see more artwork.
Okay.
My advice to you guys is just look at I'll be honest with you, like I said, I might shit on Marvel sometimes, but they have good letterers. Go look at what they're doing. Okay. and that's the thing. Just look at what they're doing, because what they're doing, that's one thing. They have really professional letters. So if you look at the leading on their pages, from my taste, it's a little too tight. But what you have is a little bit too much.
So tighten up a little.
Yeah. I don't know what font. What font size are you at? You're 12 point, 14 point.
Well, we're working large on like 11 by 17 scale, so I'm at a 28.
28.
So
okay.
The dialogue for exclamation, it was 30. What is it? 35 exclamation. Captions are 50.
But like that's
on 11
because it's 11 by 17, so when we scale it down.
Right. Okay. I don't know. I'd have to see. Are you guys working at Photoshop, Illustrator?
Clip Studio.
Clip Studio. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I wouldn't know. Yeah, because I do all my lettering in Photoshop. But yeah, that's the only thing. I would just cut that space down. You'll see it. It'll come down, and it'll look a little more normal. Because what it is for me is just spread out, so it's a little harder to read.
Yeah, I have 2 different settings for like the letter sides, the word space, the letter space, and the line space. So I'll cut down the line space.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like I said, just look at any Marvel DC comic. You'll see that gap, because it took me a while to figure it out. I was like, let me see something. I'm sure I got something old, something I lettered a long time ago.
Went off of Invincible, man. God damn it, Image.
Really?
Image.
Well,
the letting.
Line spacing in Invincible.
Yeah, well, as far as the actual like the font size and everything, I liked the way they lettered it in that specifically. In the first place, I was like, dude, 7 years ago, I was so all on board with just using Comic Sans, like just as a little inside joke. But now we got to put assholes like using Comic Sans, like unironically. So now no one will get the joke. It would just make me look like a punk. So,
but we did find a font we liked, and they have plenty of different like bold, italicized, and stuff like that. So it makes my job easier. so I can just pump out art.
And plus, he's the letterer himself. He's another independent, and I really like
Working with other independent people.
Supporting.
Showcasing?
Yeah, I like supporting independent creators. So we found an independent guy and he used his stuff. So.
No, that's cool. Yeah, I mean the font itself is fine. It's just literally just the lettering. That's all. It's just to yeah. You just cut that down maybe by half. You'll see it come down a little bit, and you'll be able, like, this thing here where it says Jesus Christ, did you fuck her? Right? That balloon that comes outside, you could probably shrink it so it'll fit inside now. Yeah. Unless you want to have it outside. That's that's entire.
Too, then the nope, everything's fine. The dude says that one's like super spaced out.
Right, and that's all. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just a thing to condense it down. It's just it's minor nitpicky stuff, but it looks good though. I mean, I like the way it's looking.
Not being and somebody who has trialed and errored and all that stuff. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, but so how many pages are you guys looking to have? Is this issue or this book going to be?
120.
Okay, hold on. Originally, I wanted it to be between 100 and 120, depending on if we have people back all of our like have a speaking role, fight a hero, all those tiers. I estimated between 100 to 120 for this volume. Right. And then and I was so proud to be like, yeah, man, we haven't worked out towards this. I cut out all the fat, and we still have 120 things. And then we went on I was watching one of John Malin's things. And he asked you, hey, how many pages? And the guy's like, yeah, 45. And he's like, all right, don't go any higher than that. Like, it's a huge mistake if it's your first thing because it's so hard to do. And I was like, it had me like every little thing because I'm so anal. If anyone says anything, like right now, I'm so stressed out because you talk about lettering. Like, anytime anyone says anything, I'm like, fuck, we need to go back to square one. Every little thing, look at it. Like, do I not do that? I'm like, bring it up, pull up all the things. Where's the cut line? Put that border on there. Anyway.
Well, you've only lettered 6 pages, right?
Pardon?
Yeah, so far we only actually have we only completed those pages specifically so we can post them up. Everything else is just gonna be inked so we can go through
from here on process. Out, like the stream or the campaign was priority. We had setbacks where I had to like stop doing the book and I had to do other promotional shit. So promotional shit out of the way, going forward, it's sketching most things, inking most things, shading most things, and then after I ink, he's going to go back and do the flatting so we can merge those, finalize, and move on.
Yeah, we'll flat and shade at the same time.
After all that's done, lettering. So it's just like I don't have to be switching gears in my mind, and I can just go forward doing the one process and just be seamless sketching, seamless inking, seamless shading. And that'll be a lot faster for myself. So I had a point to this.
I don't know, but I was already saying a point that I was getting to.
Well, go for it.
Excellent. Okay, so to answer your question, originally we did want to do 100 to 120. And I'm still wanting to shoot for something like that. But because dude was like, man, it's going to be really hard. It's really expensive to print out that much, especially for your first run, this and that. So you want to keep it, especially if you're doing like, say, $25 a book, you want to keep it to between 45 and 60. So I'm thinking like, okay, so I understand that. I've already cut out so much fat to it. So I want to put in just things that people will actually care about. But also, one of the things that was supposed to be a surprise to everyone was that we have people, no spoilers, you're fine. People, they'll have a book, but then they also have like the book and an ash can, an extra 20 pages of some other shit, right? And that's totally fine. But I actually wrote that into the book to where it's like a little prologue thing that happened, like an extra little story at the end of it, like how some old comics used to be. I have that in there. So that's like, if we have 60 there, then we have another one, with the one thing that we had going on. So that's another extra like 80. So I'm like, well, fuck it. We'll still go back to about 100, but it's going to be 100 like clean. I'm still going to shoot for about 100, but it's going to be cleaned out to where it's like just the shit everyone's going to care about.
We have a prologue, an epilogue, and the meat of the story. So
yeah, there is a legit prologue to the actual story explaining the whole, the mythos, if you will, the actual main story, that collection of stories that makes up the main story. And then we have not really an epilogue, but like an appendix, really, of just kind of other shit that you'll need to know moving on. And I planned each one of those to be like a little surprise. Like you'll be wondering something through the book, and then we'll have a little like appendix story that's like, oh shit, that's how that was. Oh wow, now I look at things a little differently, and hopefully it'll get you to like kind of go back and read through the first thing again and go like through that new lens. It's kind of a little Easter egg I wanted for people. I've had that actually written for a while. It was like a specific story that leads into another bigger story later on that I really wanted to do, you know?
Which is the advantage of having the entire story lined out in our heads and like having the whole lore built. So like we start off on this little section and then unveils another little section and unravels, but we have the whole lore from here to here lined out. So it sounds like we know what we're talking about because we do. Yeah. And it's not like Lost where you finish the series and you wonder what the fuck.
You know what's wild too? Like okay, so JD, like after we did the mail-in thing, I actually turned around and I was like, JD, can we please get back on the show? Because one of the things you do is you, like you said, you hold a conversation. Mm-hmm. It was so like once when Mail-in picked up and whatnot, and again, like I'm not shitting on it at all. I'm super happy that I was able to get on there and actually get the crowd and whatnot that Mail-in has. But he was like, all right, so we're gonna keep this down to about 10 minutes. I go, fuck, man, I have 7 years worth of shit to talk about, and I am so Italian that I can't keep anything within 10 minutes, man. So I was like, if you actually listen to the stream, he's like, okay, so we have Mike. Let's hope we kept the right person on War Dance. What do you got? And I was like, fucking, hey, this is this. I felt like one of those old infomercials with like the guy who wore the jacket that had all question marks on it. And he was like, can the government do this for you? Did you know you could write a book? It was so bad. And then afterward, I was like, dude, there's so much other shit that I didn't say because our story is so involved that when you actually just look at it like, hey, it's just superheroes and we're here for you and you can be in the story with superheroes. It sounds like, yeah, of course, asshole, like everyone has that. But this is such a, like, it's a love note to certain heroes. There's a lot of little nods, but it's also like bringing back the superheroes we used to have for a new generation. There's so much more that goes into it. And I'm not just banking on that hopefully someone like Superman or hopefully someone like Batman. I gave them all their own origin, their own shit. They're based on real people and real shit that actually happened that I want people to like know about, because I have buddies where these things really truly happen to them. Not that they came up with powers, but these things truly happen to them. And to me, I'm like, man, one day those people are going to be gone and no one's really going to know about this stuff. And this is some real stuff that happened. That's like awesome. So a lot of it's almost like a Stand By Me kind of a story between these superheroes are friends with each other and they're learning to be real heroes and they're going through these hard times, picking each other up, and it's like, it's encouraging and it's like, some of it's like gut wrenching, but it's shit that you need to see. And we don't have stories like that right now that I'm aware of for the most part.
Where also actually have consequences.
As far as like the mainstream, like the big, like Marvel's not putting out stories like that anymore. When I was a kid, they did put out stories like that, and they're not really doing that anymore. And it sucks for me. So this is almost like it's a love note to that kind of writing, showing you that, hey man, like when I'm dead and gone and you get heroes that everyone sucks for all we know. Heroes used to be truly heroic. And when they were given powers, it wasn't just because to make them the bestest ever. It was these people were crazy powerful. And one of the things about being heroic is you don't just bank on just your power. You're about the people. You had to learn to control that. You had to like put things above yourself. And a lot of people are just like, well, I'm going to create a hero. But if I'm going to create a hero, of course he's going to be super powerful and everyone's going to love him. But they don't ever really give you a reason to love that character, So I want to give you that. So when you first see these characters for us, they're all kind of beaten down and they're all kind of like assholes, antisocial people, and you kind of don't like them in the first place. And then they pull their head out of their ass through the story. So at the end, you've grown with them, Yeah. And I don't know. I'm excited for that, and I'll talk about that all fucking day. So
here's one thing I noticed about the guys who do a lot of different podcasts, and the guys who who are given like the very first interview I ever did. This guy Doc Hogg, mad cool dude. I was on his show. Cool guy, nice dude. I had him on, and he immediately jumped into his spiel, and I was just like, bam, 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 bam. And it was like 5 minutes. I was like, what the fuck? Okay. I was like, okay, that's not how I envisioned this, but all right.
Yeah.
And then I had another guy on, and he did the same thing. This was Anthony Figueroa, mad cool dude, right? And he went on, and I was like, and especially with Anthony's, I was like, son of a bitch. He had his thing down packed. Like, he was just like, you ask him, give me a pitch, and it was like getting hit over the head with a brick. It was like, bap, there it is. And you're like, shit, nice, thank you. Like, it illuminated everything. Now, I'm really bad at it. Like, you asked me to talk about my books, whether it be Tall Tales or Oswald. I'm like, all right, well, sit down. We're going to have to, pull up a chair. Let's 2 hours. Here we go. It's hard, but you really do, especially if you're going to get on shows with, like, Mail-In and other people like that. You got to try to, like, get that spiel. I would suggest writing it down, sitting in front of a mirror, and practicing that sucker. Because it was very obvious to me that that's what these guys did, because it was very obvious. I was like, wow. I was like, because when you hear some of them, they come on and they're like, boom, 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 hitting all the pertinent points very quickly. I'm shitty at it. That's why I do this show, so I can just talk. But it's important, especially if you're going to go on to do a lot of podcasts. Try to get it down to 5 minutes, and that's what they like. They like it 5 minutes, because they'll give you the 5 minutes to talk, and then you can just talk another 5 minutes about whatever. I know. Don't say you can do it. Don't say can't. You can do it. It's hard, but you can do it.
You're doing like a disservice almost to the story. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. There's so much, because if you say just the big, because they'll say what's the main point, but if when you put in that much thought into your project as we have, everything's a main point. The fat's already cut out, man. I can't leave this part out because that's some shit. Like, you got to know about the shit,
No, I get you. I understand 110%. Trust me on this. I get you. I know.
Business. So at the end of the day, you need to be like, when you're scrolling through Netflix or something like that, and you're like, do I want to watch this movie? You read those 2 goddamn sentences. You see who's starring in it. You're like, yeah, okay, or no, fuck it.
So you gotta come down to those. Yeah, write your shit out in those sentences.
Yep.
Yeah. It sucks. I'm telling you right now, it sucks. I know. I'm telling, because I don't like breaking it down. Like, it's the elevator pitch. Yep. What's it about? You're just like, oh, all right. And then you got your elevator pitch and you say it, right?
Like, when you pick up the back of the book and you read it real quick and you're like, whether or not you're going to read it at that point, we need to get it down to that point. Exactly. Just boil it down. What I would suggest is pick the most exciting parts. Just stick to those. If you see that's not working, then you move on to some of the other portions. And then, you just keep messing with it until you get something that works for you. It's like, all right, here's one. Like, you've been to comic book conventions, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Snoots, you ever been to one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
no, she's not paying attention.
No,
that's fine. No.
I'm sorry.
Now, you'll see some guys who have a pitch, right? Mm-hmm. You'll walk over to them, hey, how you doing, blah, 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 and they'll give you their pitch, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if you notice, you'll walk away, and then if you come back and you see them dealing with another person, they're giving the exact same pitch.
Right.
And that's all it is. It's that pitch. Boom, boom, boom. So that you're just selling the book. And like I said, you're going to go on these other podcasts. They're going to have that expectation as well. You got 5 minutes, buddy. You better convince me.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but sometimes that's what it is.
It sucks, man. It sucks because you, like, with your project too, like you love your project so much, and it's almost like trying to explain your kid. You can't explain a kid that you've invested in for so long. Like, hey, what do I need to know about your kid? I'm going to have him for the rest of his life.
Right. I don't know. The other day, Todd McFarlane was saying, you're going to have some ugly ass kids and you need to be prepared for that. So, and the context was, you might draw some ugly pages or you might draw some ugly panels, and you just need to accept that as an artist. Mm-hmm. So, in the same respect, the flip side of that, you might have some kids that you're super proud of, but not everyone wants to hear the day-to-day of your fucking kids.
Right. They don't want to hear about him brushing his teeth and wiping his ass.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to hear about that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a whole chapter of that though. I can't tell you
like
about the wiping your ass chapter. That's a great chapter.
Everyone has that one friend who's like a new mom, but she's
Mhm.
like 5 years a new mom. It's like your kid's 5. We're done.
You know what?
Stop
Actually,
posting
that's
pictures
probably a
every
really good way to
goddamn
say
day.
it. That's how I feel with things where when people are like, "Oh man, just give me the 10-minute thing," because they've been doing it for like forever. So obviously you can do the 10-minute thing. But I'm a new mom with it. It's a brand new thing. I'm like, oh my god. They're like, no, we've seen babies before. You've never seen this baby. He shits his pants. You ever see somebody shit their pants? Awesome.
Yep, and it's gold,
man. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now, so I got a question. I got a question for you guys that I don't think I asked you guys the last time, right? So, and this is about the actual work. So this is for both of you.
Yep.
So what's the one part of the process you guys dread the most?
Do you have a? Don't look at me.
I know what yours
I'm
is.
awesome. I don't have anything I dread.
He hates writing dialogue by himself because he's that comedian that needs to bounce off of people. Like you'll watch a comedian that like works the crowd. He's like that. So when he writes dialogue, he needs to be with somebody. And the problem is it's a 2-person team, and I have concentration issues, severe concentration issues. So I either need to rhyme or I need to be writing. Yeah. So my job, actually, yes, the hardest job for me is actually like sitting down and focusing on the art, because we're both doing 2 things at the same time. He's writing and helping me with the art, and I'm doing the art and helping him at the same time. He can multitask, I can't. So his is writing dialogue, mine is sitting down and focusing and just getting shit lined out.
Okay.
She outed you, Mike. Go for it.
No, it's such bullshit. He's like, I'm gonna speak for him because and I'm like, no, it's not even. She's like, shut up, kid. That's exactly what it is. No, it's horseshit. So she can't do more than, and I get it, because she doesn't half-ass multiple things. She'll whole-ass one thing, and I truly respect that. It's awesome. But she works better when she can just take her shit in her room and just shut the door, put on her headphones, and just work. And she comes up with amazing shit. When I write, when I'm flatting, I have to have 2 different podcasts on. I have to be watching a show on fucking mute while I'm listening to that, and playing a game on my phone. Like, I have to do all these other things. My mind works like crazy fast. I think some people call it ADD, but I don't know. My mind works crazy fast, and I can't. What?
He plays Final Fantasy on fast forward. Like, it's the best thing that's ever been for him, because his mind just processes
things. It
things
fixed the game for me when
fast.
they did the triple fast forward thing they did.
Yeah.
Anyway. So
he functions like that as he works as well.
I have to do so many things at the same time, and that's how I concentrate. I need chaos around me, right? Where she's not like that. So essentially, to truly answer the question, one thing that we dread the most, she dreads anything she has to do when I or anyone else is around. I don't truly dread anything specifically, and not because like I'm awesome. No, I love all of it. This is my dream. I love doing any of it. The issue I have with doing the dialogue is I don't like doing the whole this person says this and this person says this. I like doing it to where you should be able to read it naturally. So I'm super anal. I'm like, hey, this guy says this. I'm going to say this to you and see what they say back, and I'll take a note of that. We have characters that are based on friends of ours, and I'll fucking text them or I'll call them and be like, hey, man, boom, what did you say? Someone said some shit. What did you say? I'll have to bounce things off of people to get an idea, and then once I profile them a little bit, I can write for them a little better, Right. But I need everything to be like, I have to bounce things off, because a conversation, like, you read so many comics, even especially nowadays, where you read it and you go, no one fucking talks like that. This is like, okay,
no one would.
Perfect example. Ignited. Whenever they talk about their characters, when someone names a character in Ignited, they have the @ like. There's one character named Wave or whatever, and when they say, "Hey, Wave," it's @Wave, and I'm like, asshole. That is Twitter. No one actually fucking talks like that. Like, you spend way too much time on Twitter. You should write more or read more or fucking talk to another person. So we have a lot of writers like that, and I'm the exact opposite. I have to be like, what would a person actually say? How would you say that? And I edit dialogue like that. And to me, I don't like the voices in my head tell me to burn things. So I don't like talking to that. I need to talk to the other person, you know? So, but then with her, how do you not feel a fly on your face?
Felt it. Jesus.
With her though, I go, hey, what's this? So whenever she's in the other room and I go, hey, someone says this and this, she's like, you're the writer, asshole, right? I'm drawing. We're doing our separate jobs, man, you know? The door is closed for a reason.
And he just comes in, hey, I need you real quick.
I don't dread anything. I have legit issues with it though, because I need another person. I need to be able to clone myself so I can bullshit.
Oh no.
But then we spend most of our time
and then it would just become like, he would either spend most of his time making out with himself, or it would just become like a really darker version of like the Dark Knight saga, where just like Batman kills people now, and he kills the Joker, and he kills Superman, and that's how Mike's mind works. We're just like, what is the worst possible thing that could happen?
If it were two of me writing this, it would be just dark, just revenge porn.
Yeah,
it would be
I spit on your grave, just the worst version.
So dark.
In the best way.
I need people like her and people that are healthier influences around to where my writing isn't just dark James O'Barr shit.
Gotcha. All right, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Now,
yeah,
we've been doing this for a little bit. We're gonna roll into some of my favorite questions.
Oh no!
Fuck.
I got some new ones. I got some new ones.
What legend?
You know what? What I dread, that's what I dread. Your questions last time, I was like, yeah, man, I'm a total dork. I got this. You got this guy. I've been at this for 40 years, bitch. Yeah.
So, all right. But before we get to that, please let everybody know your websites, where they can reach you, where they can find you, where your Indiegogo, so on and so forth.
Our Indiegogo, we are Issues Volume 1. We are on Facebook, Wardance Comics. We are on Twitter as Wardance_, War _ Dance Comics, Twitter. Instagram is Wardance Comics. And any of those platforms, you can find each other. We link all the other platforms. So, yeah, hit us up. Let us know.
If you comment on Instagram, it'll be my buddy Christina, dear friend of mine for forever. She's an awesome lady. She will direct things directly to me. If you go to Twitter, Jags, also an awesome guy. He will speak for himself. So if he offends you, do not bring it to me. No, he's a really good dude though, but he's very like his own guy. But if you do anything as far as like going through our Facebook page or anything going through Indiegogo, I am sitting there all day at the computer, and if anything pops up, I will message back immediately, and it's me, and I'm thoroughly excited to talk to anybody. So by all means, message us. And it is me, like I'm the actual dude. And I love it. I love talking to people. I love talking to fans and shit. I love dorking out. I love this show. Also, like I love being on this. Like this is really cool.
It's fun.
You know, now that I know that I didn't totally destroy your channel.
You're fine.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can follow me those social media and hit us up. We'd love for you to be a part of this process.
Cool. Yeah. Also, let them know about the little the thing we talked about in the beginning. It was the giveaway.
Oh
for
yeah.
Indiegogo.
So I don't know. Comment. What was it, Oswald?
It was Oswald. Yeah.
Comment on our Indiegogo. Message us on Facebook, Oswald, and we will personally include a full-blown character sketch of one of our characters, or yourself, or a loved one. Full body character sketch, dynamic ass shit. Yeah, we'll include it for you with your order.
Legit original art, actually done on like cardstock. Yep. Real deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now, let's. You guys good?
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Cool. Now, all right. So, a few variations of some of the old questions. All right. So I'm gonna go with Mike first, right? So now, Mike. I asked you this question. You know, so we'll go at it one more time. If you had the choice, now. Let's we're gonna remove Snoots from the equation.
Was I
Right, let's
wrong last time? Like I already asked you
Right.
this one, but it
Right.
fucked you up.
So let's remove Snoots from the equation. Let's say Snoots got the big job. She's making $1 million a page. She like, Mike, yo, I gotta go. All right. But as a consolation prize, Mike, they say, Mike, you get to choose any artist you want to draw your book. Who are you picking?
Still Hitler?
No, okay, well, he's probably going to be like, well, they have to be alive currently now because...
Yeah.
You can't pick Jesus, you can't pick Hitler. Choose someone else.
Don't pick Jesus, don't pick Hitler, and pick a comic book artist.
We don't know what Jesus drew. We don't know what he did. Pick a comic book artist for all we know. No, actually, oh man. Okay, so if it's a non-known person, I'm gonna go again back with my buddy Matt, because again, Hubert School, he's so good. It bugs me that he doesn't do comics, but he's an amazing artist. So Matt Vorderstrass. If I had to go with someone who's actually in the industry who actually does it right now, probably Gary Shipman. I'm super dorking on I'm sure I said it last time too. I'm sorry that I'm just ruining your big
You
gotcha
didn't say
moment.
Gary
But
last time.
I did say Gary Shipman when we were talking about something else. But yeah, I'm dorking out on like the old school kind of like a Dark Knight kind of a thing, and he does that so well. And I have a few really good stories that will go really well with that. And I have a lot of his original art actually coming. So between actually like Matt's art and Snoots' art, he will be the next one that I have the most original art of, because I'm so dorking out on that, man. I really love that style, so I'd probably go with Gary Shipman.
All right, cool. Now this is for Snoots. Now, let's say Mike got the big call up. He's making $1 million a piece. Says, Snoots, I gotta go. Sorry, he's gone. So now, if you had the choice of any writer within comics, who would you pick?
I have a limited knowledge. I'm awful with names again.
You can name the book. We might be able to name the writer for you.
Yeah.
What did they write?
Damn it. Honestly, I know it's a pen name, but Lemony Snicket. When I was a kid, I absolutely loved the series of Unfortunate Events, and it's a fucked up black pill kids book series, and I fucking love it. So if I had the opportunity to do a graphic novel adaptation, I would jump all over that shit. I absolutely loved that series, and he's still alive. So I would love to work with Lemony Snicket.
Let me throw this out there too. If anyone listens and they're like, "Oh, that's a cop out thing," she couldn't think of a name. She actually talks about Lemony Snicket and Series of Unfortunate Events a lot. So that's thoroughly
It was my childhood.
She talks about it a lot.
Tolkien's dead.
C.S. Lewis.
Yeah, there's a few other authors that have fallen from my graces because they came out with another book. I'm like, oh, you should have stopped, honey. That was awful. Should have stopped. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Snicket, I feel like is a safe bet there.
All right, cool. That's good. Now, so now we get on to the interesting questions.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Mike.
Yep.
Stan Lee or Jack Kirby?
Doing what?
I don't know,
What
bro.
are they doing?
That's up to you, bro.
You can't. No. Okay. Well,
It's a comparative.
Lap Dance, probably Jack Kirby. I think Stan Lee was a little bonier in the shank area for that. I think honestly, fuck, man. I don't want to say like how I did last time. Like, who wouldn't want to be associated with Stan Lee or something like that? But I think I'd probably go still with Jack Kirby. I think overall, yeah.
All right,
Lap
cool.
Dance, definitely Jack Kirby.
Gotcha. For Snoots, Harry Potter or Narnia?
I would say Narnia, although I will say I own far more Hufflepuff memorabilia than I do Narnia items. So it's a toss-up.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough. Mike.
Yep.
Here's a softball one. Kirk or Picard?
How is that softball? That's one of the hardest questions ever.
You reference
This is
Picard far more than
Hold
Kirk,
on. This is a Mike question. All right, so this is some bullshit, and that's I will remember this. I remember this. However, I will probably get a lot of flack for this, but I'm actually a big, huge fan of Janeway. Actually, I'm a really big Voyager fan. If I had to go specifically between those two, I love. If First Contact never happened, I would have just said Kirk. But First Contact, we had a really good thing with Picard. One of my favorite Star Trek lines ever is when he's like, "No, the line must be drawn here." And I know Dude in Deep Space Nine also did that, but we had this like where he wasn't just a reserved, British guy. Like a lot of people love Picard for being that reserved, captain. He conducted himself as a captain instead of just this cavalier guy like how Kirk was.
Right.
But in that thing, when it was like, no, this is the fucking Borg. Like buttons get unbuttoned. We're gonna take the blazer off. We're gonna go out there and kick some ass. And Picard handled in First Contact the Borg better than I think honestly Kirk would have. I think Kirk probably would have gotten himself killed if he were the captain in First Contact. So I'm gonna say probably Picard in that because of that. But if not First Contact, it would have been Kirk. And if it's any captain, it's Janeway. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh my God, he's a girl. But Voyager was awesome. It was a good show. And I don't think it gets enough love, man.
I can attest to that. We've had
And their doctor was the weird lady witch on Legend. And people don't like me when I say that, but it's true. Look it up. He was the lady witch.
Now, Snoots, I think you said you were into horror, right?
No, not at all.
You're not into horror.
It was me.
Okay, that was you. Okay, all right. So, we'll shift this question then over. See, I don't know if you'd be familiar with these two, but I'm gonna try anyway. Don Bluth or Chuck Jones. Now,
I remember this.
Right.
Chuck
Okay,
Jones.
now Don Bluth, Secret of Nim. Chuck Jones, Bugs Bunny.
Wait, say that again?
Chuck Jones is Bugs Bunny, and Don Bluth is Secret of Nim.
Fuck, I haven't seen Secret of Nim yet.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. That's a shit. Or Dragon Slayer, or Dragon's Lair.
Dragon Slayer, yeah.
Yeah. The video game. Wow.
Don't look at me, man. Don't look at me.
Yeah.
Are you for real? Go with Bluth. It's awesome. Man. Trust me.
All right. Whatever.
Trust me. I will show you Secret of Nim. You'll agree.
Wait, is that the same guy who did Watership Down?
No.
Okay.
No.
I love the art style on that. I haven't seen it, but I thought it was cool.
All right, you know what? We'll go with this one. Here we go. Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, Snoots?
Fuck! I would have to say, oh shit. I'm gonna kind of go on a rant, much like Star Wars ass did, or Star Trek ass over here. So, original trilogy, hands down, Star Wars. But with all the added shit, there's so much controversy and bullshit involved with Star Wars right now, where at a point I honestly was like, it doesn't matter how much love I had for it as a kid. It doesn't fucking matter. People involve their own politics in it. It's tainted. Fuck it. So I do have a special place in my heart for both Star Wars and Lord of the Rings. But shit. Original trilogy, absolutely, hands down, Star Wars. It as a whole, Lord of the Rings. And again, Lord of the Rings. We're not saying Hobbit over here. The Lord of the Rings. the extended trilogy, hands down, all the way. If we're looking at each collective as a whole, like Lord of the Rings includes The Hobbit, Star Wars includes the Kathleen Kennedy bullshit and all that whatnot. And I don't know. That's, if you can't tell, I love both of them. It's very hard to choose.
Yeah, that was that was the biggest non-answer I've ever heard.
Okay, so Star Wars for the original trilogy and Lord of the Rings for its original movie trilogy.
Okay. All right, we'll go with that. Here you go, Mike. I'll softball you again.
Oh, fuck.
Frank Miller or Alan Moore?
Oh shit. Oh fuck. My two favorite things in comics were written by Frank Miller and Alan Moore.
Many a tangent.
And one is one looks like the Unabomber now and is a total lunatic, and the other one is so high constantly that he's a total lunatic too.
So let's just look at your favorite stories and compare them. Which one is your favorite out of the two?
No, can't do that. I would probably say, fuck. I love the big, main, super famous stuff that Alan Moore has done. He is so crazy antisocial, though. But Frank Miller, however, is still super social, but he's on so much drugs. So as long as he's not drawing anything, definitely Frank Miller. Like, dude, Master Race, like he wrote that, but it was like, dude, let's not put down the pen, sir. Let's bring in a Kubert. Let's have Andy take control of this. And Master Race was fucking phenomenal. It was really good. It to me almost made up for Dark Knight 2, which was an absolute train wreck. So I'd probably say Frank Miller. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Snoots.
Yes.
All right. I will softball you.
Oh no.
With this is a real generic one. All right. We'll go with this. You know, it's funny. I don't even think I've ever even asked anyone this question before.
Oh no.
All right. So, werewolf or vampire?
Oh. I would say.
Is that still not soft enough?
No. Hold on. I would say vampire because accumulative lore, vampire is far more consistent than werewolf. It seems to be in the werewolf form, one loses control of one's consciousness. Mm-hmm. And with vampire, yes, a lot of your choices are made from urge of needing to eat, but you are far more intact with who you are versus the werewolf side is the werewolf. Like, you are separate from that entity. So I would say vampire.
Okay.
I would like to add also, in some lore, vampires can shapeshift to certain animals of the night and animals of the woods as well, from the woodland lore. So some of them can turn into what would be a werewolf-like creature as well. So vampires seem like super OP depending on the lore.
Depending on the lore, adding yours, I would hope that if I were to be a vampire, I would turn into a ferret or a polecat.
Jesus Christ. That wouldn't be a vampire. That would just be a were ferret.
Yes. Or were polecat.
God in heaven.
Were polecat just at night, just sitting around duking and shit.
Yep. All right, Mike. I got another.
Jugulars.
Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
All right. That's all right. Let's see. All right. This one. Yeah, we'll go with this one. Todd McFarlane or Arthur Adams?
Not a laughing matter, actually. Stone cold Todd McFarlane.
Okay.
That's what got me into it, man. Yeah. And the guy, like, with his interviews and whatnot, where he's he's very brash with certain things, but just his attitude of like, fuck it, I'll do it myself. That kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Love him or hate him, like that's my attitude, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's legitimately what got me into it in the first place. So, yeah, I wouldn't be here right now if it weren't for Todd McFarlane. So, Todd McFarlane.
That's fair.
All right, cool. We'll do a couple more questions and we'll wrap it up. So here we go. Snoots.
Yes. I watched Legend.
Yeah, so
We'll talk about Legend later. RPGs or video games?
Wait, RPG tabletop or RPG game?
No, RPG like tabletop.
Yeah.
Opposed to video games.
Tabletop
RPG
role playing
or video games.
Got it. All right.
I would have to say video games. I am far too much an introvert. I think I did 2 RPGs in my lifetime. It's so hard for me to like actually get out of the house and like meet up with people. Also consistently getting out of the house to finish a campaign.
Right.
Yeah, I'm far more into video games. One person, yeah, especially video games like one person campaigns. Yeah, I would have to say video games.
All right, cool. I can live with that. Here you go, Mike. Here's the softball for you. Terminator or RoboCop?
You lying fuck. You're such a liar.
You did this on purpose. I know you did.
Oh my god.
I'm a writer. What do you expect from me?
You know what's fucked up too? I'll probably actually get like, I know people will shit on me for this, but Terminator and RoboCop are very, very similar to me in the order of their movies, where it's like Terminator 1 and RoboCop 1, amazing, iconic. Terminator 2 or RoboCop 2, I think were fucking awesome. But then 3 was ass.
The thirds are always the
hot
worst.
garbage on both accounts. So if we're only looking at the first 2, I would say Terminator. Terminator wins on the first 2. The thirds on both of them were trash. On the first one specifically, I think RoboCop is way better than Terminator on the first one. Peter Weller, I love Arnie, but Peter Weller fucking kills it, man. His voice, beautiful.
Didn't he do Batman?
He was fucking Dark Knight. He was on Star Trek, which a lot of people don't like to talk about, but he was on there. Yeah, man. Overall, I think probably RoboCop. Actually, if we're gonna go overall, RoboCop 1 and 2. Yeah. All right, cool. RoboCop. Fuck it. Yeah.
Fuck it, RoboCop. There it is.
I love RoboCop. Man.
All right. So we made it to the end again. So guys, one more time, let everybody know where they can find your work.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Facebook, we are War Dance Comics.
Indiegogo. We're on Indiegogo.
I'm getting there.
For our work, you can find us on pretty much everything else, or at least a proxy of us. But Indiegogo Issues Volume 1.
So Facebook, we are War Dance Comics. Instagram, War Dance Comics. Twitter, we are War_Dance Comics. And yes, Indiegogo Issues Volume 1.
He said work, man. It's not, the rest of it isn't our work. It's just our us and our friends.
Any links other than our Indiegogo, you can follow our Facebook, and then you can be caught up on all the other links.
Lord. Anyway, you see this shit? This is what I have to do. To answer your question, what I dread, that's what I dread every day.
Dealing with the
I dread getting
Jew,
nagged
getting
at every day, man. All right.
So guys, thank you so much for showing up, for being here. Listen, dudes, I'm telling you, you guys are awesome. Your book looks good. You just got to keep working at it. The one thing I suggest is, at whatever point you can start really cranking on this project, start it. Because you got a lot of ground to cover. And, I don't know how long it's going to take you to do it, but it's going to take some time. That's all I do know. I don't know how fast Snoots is drawing. I don't know if you're producing a page a day, or if you're producing half a page a day, or 2 pages a day. But regardless, if you're doing 120 pages, even if you're doing a page a day, you're looking at 4 months.
Yeah.
And and that's every day, and you're going to want to take a break on occasion, so you might be looking at 5 months. So start cranking, guys. It's going to be it's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it though. I mean, trust me, you guys will enjoy it. And everybody, please check out their Indiegogo. It's an awesome looking book. Go check out the Oswald Chronicles. Share, like, and subscribe. And I'll be talking to you all later. Thank you, Snoops. Thank you, Mike. And I'll be talking to you all soon. All right, hold on, Duke.